नमस्कार आदरणीय प्रिय व्यूअर्स, आज के टॉक शो में लिविंग लीजेंड से आप सबको रूबरू करा रहे हैं। कोविड काल का अकेलापन दूर करने का श्रेय आईआईपी के इन्हीं सज्जन को जाता है। कुछ लोग इतिहास रचते हैं, वही इन्होंने भी किया, इतिहास रचा और आईआईपी कुछ लोगों को डिजिटली, पूरी आईआईपी को डिजिटली जोड़ दिया। सभी आईआईपी मेंबर्स को कोटि कोटि धन्यवाद। आप और कोई नहीं, हमारे बीच के 2020 के प्रेसिडेंट डॉक्टर बकुल जयंत पारिक हैं। एक रचनाकार हैं। आप चाहें और बकुल जी अगर इजाजत दें तो इन्हें आप आईआईपी का बीजेपी भी कह सकते हैं। एक सुदृढ़ व्यक्तित्व जिसे हमारी संस्था को बहुत जरूरत है। जो व्यक्ति कार्य में मशगूल होते हैं उनसे कुछ न कुछ छूट जाता है। जैसे कोविड काल में समर्पित डॉक्टर्स को संस्था कुछ मदद नहीं कर पाई 2020 के वर्ष में, हम उन्हीं सभी बिछड़ी पावस आत्माओं को श्रद्धापूर्वक नमन करते हैं। संस्थागत कोहरा पिछले कुछ वर्षों से बढ़ रहा है। शायद आप लोगों ने भी महसूस किया होगा। रीजनलिज्म एंड रिलीजन बढ़ रहा है। शिक्षण संस्था में ऐसे लोगों में इस संस्था में समर्पित व्यक्तित्व की जरूरत है, जो कि निष्पक्ष हों, निडर हों, परंतु माननीय सदस्यों के हृदय के नजदीक हों। सिर्फ संस्था की ऊंचाई की ओर ले जाकर बच्चों एवं एडोलसेंट के प्रति समर्पित हों। समय आ चुका है, कृपया ध्यान रखें। अभी मैं आपको शेयर कर रहा हूं बकुल जी की कहानी कि उन्होंने क्या करा। MD Pediatrics, DCH from Mumbai University, Professor of Pediatrics, CEO of BPCH and Multi-Specialty Center having 50 bed, NICU and PICU, Ghatkopar East, Mumbai. Position held in IIP, National President of CIP 2020, President Intensive Care Chapter CIP 2019, IIP Mumbai President 2007, Honorary Secretary General South Asian East Pediatric Association 23-20-26, President IPA Congress 2023, Chairperson IPA Infectious Disease Program, Advisor IPA Bulletin, Global Academic Convener GAPIO. Area of interest is General Pediatrics, Infectious Diseases, Neonatology, Intensive Care. He is master in all of them. Publication and awards and audition he received. There are more than 100 publication awards and many audition we expect from you, sir. Few words about self-hobby. Best of all-rounder cricketer. Wow. In inter-medical tournament 1978-79. So he stays playing the game, but officially in the academics. Classical tabla player, chess champion 1973-74, LTMMC Sion, managing trustee of Mumbai Suburban Table Tennis Association. Roadmap of success. Just he is practicing pediatrician, so young, then he become organized the infectious disease chapter, then SAPA, then President IIP 2020. He took charge in my city in Indore. Proud of him. National to international ultimate goal of any OB of IIP now. But the ultimate achievement of pleasure in life is the family. So sweet of you, a beautiful photograph of the couple, of a beautiful couple. With this, I hand over mic to Bangaji to start the session. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Tuteja ji, for your kind words. Thank you very much. Yeah.
नमस्कार साथियों, मैं अशोक बांगा, डॉक्टर टुटेजा टॉक शो से। साथियों, क्या आप चमत्कार में विश्वास रखते हैं? मैं भी नहीं रखता। लेकिन फिर भी एक चमत्कार हुआ था और मैं सोचता हूँ बात वहीं से शुरू करूँ। वो चमत्कार ये था कि आईएपी के प्रेसिडेंट बनने के लिए बहुत राजनीतिक घमासान होता है, लेकिन आईएपी के इतिहास में पहली और अंतिम बार ये शख्सियत बिना किसी चुनाव के, बिना किसी विरोध के निर्विरोध निर्वाचित हुए आईएपी के राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष के पद पर। सर, ये कोई चमत्कार था या इसके पीछे आपकी मेहनत, आपकी लगन, आपकी परसिवरेंस और आपकी स्ट्रगल थी?
So thank you for asking this question. And let me tell you that it was a dream come true. And it was like nobody would expect to come unopposed in a case of IAP election, because we know that every time 5 to 6 members, they fiercely contest with each other to win this election. But I was really lucky. I would say that my simple principle of friendship has helped me. I believe in the motto which I always tell whenever I talk to anybody, that don't walk in front of me, I may not follow you. Don't walk behind me, because I may not lead you. Don't walk away from me, because I need you. So let us join hands together and be friends and do something which is never done ever. So this principle has helped me. Now, coming from the grassroots level and working my way up, I feel that everyone has seen not only my growth, but also my struggles and way of working. I would like to believe that everyone had faith in that and expected me to do something worthwhile for our mother organization, that is IAP. It was nothing extraordinary, but the love that I received from all of you was that made me the impossible possible. So I owe it all to all of you all, and I certainly hope that I have done justice to your expectation. And let me tell one single anecdote. When I fought my first election as EB member in 2010, there were some rumors and there were some favoritism. And when the results were declared on 14th of November, that was Chacha Nehru Day, Children's Day, I was declared lost by 2 votes. But because it was a very narrow win, people told me, why don't you go for recount? And we went for recount, and I ultimately was declared won by 1 vote. So that was the only election I had to fight. Otherwise, after that, AAA, treasurer, secretary, president, everything is unopposed. Even SAPA secretary, IPA, treasurer, which has been now recently in May month, I was elected unopposed. So thanks to all of you and all your love.
In
ये
2010 we were together as EB.
तो मैं समझता हूँ कि अपने आप में ये एक रिकॉर्ड होगा आईएपी के लिए।
एंड एक चीज जरूर है कि मीठी मीठी बातों से तो कोई प्रेसिडेंट सिर्फ जीत नहीं सकता है. You have to take tough decisions also, and you all know that I did that in the years where I was secretary, and I had to be visiting charity commissioners and courts all throughout. And ultimately, we fought and we won. So that also has been noticed by various people, and that has helped me.
तो ये तो थी आपकी आपकी आईएपी में आगे बढ़ने की यात्रा। अब थोड़ा सा आपकी जीवन यात्रा के बारे में संक्षेप में जानना चाहेंगे। आप कहाँ से मुंबई आए और कहाँ से इतने बड़े पद तक पहुंचे, कैसे?
Yeah. So let me tell you, I was born in Gujarat at Rajkot, at my mother's mother place, no? And then for 3 months I was there, but then I was always in Mumbai. And many would tell you that I have always been an achiever, whether it was a ranker in the school or gold medalist in college or a successful pediatrician. But let me tell you that I hail from a very lower middle class family of teachers and academicians. My father was a professor, my mother was a librarian. And then I was the first in my family to enter science and the first doctor in the family. And my schooling also was in vernacular medium. Initially, I was in municipal school because of no money, and then in vernacular language. But it has never been a bed of roses. Rather, I would say that thorns were there everywhere in every corner, and life was always a struggle. But ultimately, I was told by one of my Jyoti's friend that whatever you do, you will achieve everything, but you will have to struggle. And somehow it has proved in my life. During internship in 78, 79, I met with an almost fatal accident with crush injury of my left leg, where compound comminuted tibia fibula fracture occurred. And I was admitted in Sion Hospital for 6 months. And that's where I found my better half. And she was always there by my side during that time. And ultimately we became life partners. So, after starting practice, maybe I was helped by my wife and my parents in keeping faith in me. And I worked hard all the way to reach this particular
Yeah.
position. So I will say at the end that जीना इसी का नाम है. Ultimately, मसाला तो चाहिए जिंदगी में.
सही बात।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल बिल्कुल। तो
हाँ.
आपको
सही बात।
ये सारी ये बात सुन के लगता है कि ये ठोक पीट का खूब तपाकर बनाया हुआ खरा सोना है। सर, आपको इतना इतना इतने पद पर रहकर उसके बाद आगे बढ़ते 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 जब आप आईआईपी के प्रेसिडेंट बने और आपके हाथ में बहुत सारी जिम्मेवारियां और बहुत सारे काम उस ऑफिस के आए, तो उन 365 दिनों के आपकी अ, कुछ स्वीट मेमोरीज, सॉल्व मेमोरीज संक्षेप में।
हाँ. So basically, I continued my practice for 20 years to establish my family and my children and to give them whatever best I can in my life. But after 20 years of my practice, in 2003, I became the life member of IAP. Till then, I was not a member of Central IAP.
Oh.
And then within short period, I was elected as president of Mumbai IAP. That experience helped me to take further in Central IAP. And then I started as a president in 2020, where I was installed at Indore, and my aim of the or theme of the year was to reach the unreached. Because all throughout my working as a EB member or AAA or secretary or treasurer, I found many gaps in our IAP working and what members expected from the officers of IAP. And that experience helped me. And also, I also worked very closely with office at Tardev as well as in Navi Mumbai. In fact, Navi Mumbai office was established during my secretaryship. And so knowing all these intricacies of working of IAP office, as well as what people need from or my members expect from IAP, I declared that I will have my theme as reaching the unreached, thereby reaching the undergraduates, postgraduates, practicing pediatricians, seniors, even researchers, and so on. And with that, I came out with a plan, and I started with a bang from Indore. Till March, I was doing very well. We did many programs physically. And to our surprise or to our unfortunate circumstances, COVID struck in the month of March in a very big way. And I was really depressed. I thought I am losing my presidency. I will not be able to achieve what I was thinking about achieving. I spent my secretary's 2 years in charity commissioner's office and court, and now my presidency also is going to be a very bad situation. But and then I thought, let the tough get tougher whenever there is a tough situation. And I had a team with me who worked with me very hard. And from this time of secretary, I always thought to reach unreached, we have to have a digital platform. Otherwise, it's very difficult to go everywhere physically. If you notice, during those years, there were always going to be physical workshops, physical TOTs, and maximum 5,000 members will attend all these things repeatedly. And hardly we would achieve anything in terms of implementation, even after spending crores of rupees. So digital platform was the one which I felt where you have to spend less, you can save your practice time, family time, and you can reach every place and you can touch upon everybody's heart. And that's how during COVID year, we had to work day and night. And because of my team's encouragement, we converted the adversity into opportunity and come out with the DIP platform, which is now a history. And we had almost more 1,000 hours of academics on this DIP platform, which is now stored as a library. And anybody can visit those webinars where each and every topic of pediatrics was touched upon by best of the speakers from our country as well as out of our country. And many of the students also took advantage of that. And as you rightly said, that time we all were stuck in our house because we were worried about COVID infection. And many of our colleagues were losing their life. And that is the time when this DIP helped us. And everybody was glued to the screen. And everybody had a time to revise their pediatrics in those 1 or 2 years, which has helped everybody. And these webinars, if anybody can go through again, UG or PG, they can definitely pass MD or DM without any problem. No, it is that good. And so DIP was my main achievement during my year. Other than that, of course, we had 5 pediweeks. If you notice, we had all 5 zonal pedicons were converted into pediweeks. And we developed 3D platform for that. And You had a virtual hall, virtual screen, virtual speakers,
Yeah.
and lots of activities happened during that. Even cultural activities happened. And this
Yes.
idea was
Yes.
given to me by my dear friend Dr. Samir Dalwai. He suggested, why don't we do this? And I immediately grabbed that idea, and we came out with this 5 days where cultural programs, even yoga was done in the morning at 6 o'clock, if you notice. And
Yes.
the 5 zones were very active. We could find many new speakers. We could
Yes.
find many new diamonds, no? The same speakers were attending all these physical conferences, but new speakers were not getting chance. But here we could find many. And also in physical conferences, we had always lack of time. No, there was no question answer session. If one or two questions are asked, then there is a lack of time. Please let us move to the other talk and talk during tea time. But here we had a beautiful question answer session even after every talk, and that had become a very good helping hand to all the practicing pediatrics in the clinics. So
Yes.
DAP was a big thing. We also celebrated many of the branch elections and president installation programs. We had condolence meetings also when we lost some of the stalwarts in our IAP, you know, like Kapse and many others. So all these things were possible because of this. And nothing more than this. Also, I would like to add that due to DIP, we could arrange 7 EB meetings online. And every EB member were given to opine on each and every aspect of the discussion, which otherwise never happened in physical meeting, because there is groupism. People go in and out, somebody leaves early, somebody comes late, and so many things happen. But here in DIP, we had 7 EB meetings. And I like to quote one incident definitely. When my wife was suffering from COVID, that time EB meeting was going on online, and she was to be admitted in the hospital. And there is a time when 90% of the EB members wanted this year to continue further, because during COVID time, they could not travel anywhere. But I convinced them over a period of time. And ultimately, at the end of that, 90% of the people agreed for a regular election rather than continuing for one way. So I insisted on democracy. I insisted on our constitution, and everybody agreed. So many things were achieved, and we became financially strong. During COVID year, we had a very low budget. But during the full year, because of money was not spent for traveling and money was not spent for booking hotels, we could save 75 lakh rupees. And over a period of a year, we could save 3.5 crores during that COVID year. And Dr. Piyush Gupta was the president-elect, was to be installed, but nobody was ready to do a physical conference because of COVID worries. I took up that challenge, and last 2 months, we can arrange that at Sai in Mumbai, where 600 people were there, and 17,000 people attended online. And we had a wonderful pedicon. We collected 2.5 crores for that pedicon, and we spent 1.25 crores for IAP, which otherwise never happened even in a regular pedicon. So it was a financial achievement also. So all in all, it was a very successful DIP program, and I am very satisfied with the year which I spent because of this DIP.
Yes. Thank you, sir. It's very interesting to listen to all these details, most of which we and most of the common pediatricians do not know. And this is the advantage of interviewing people like you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
मुझे लगता है कि ईश्वर ने हर व्यक्ति को कोई किसी उद्देश्य से जीवन दिया है, और शायद आपके हाथ से वो यह एक बड़ा काम करवाना चाहता था, और उसके लिए उसने आपको आपदा में ये अवसर दिया कि आपने इतना बड़ा काम किया जो एक हिस्ट्री बन गया। इसी के बारे में कुछ और जानना चाहूँगा। आपने बताया कि DIP का आइडिया कैसे आया, जो मेरा पहला सवाल था। फिर आपने इसको कैसे ग्रेजुअली ग्रो किया, पर इसमें आपको इनिशियली क्रिटिसिज्म भी मिला होगा। कई लोगों ने कहा होगा, अरे ऐसा होता है क्या, ऐसा हो सकता है क्या, अरे तुम कर पाओगे क्या, एक अकेला आदमी क्या कर पाएगा, वगैरह वगैरह, बहुत सारी चीज़ें, ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से भी, घर से भी, दोस्तों से भी, कई जगह। तो ऐसा हुआ या सिर्फ एनकरेजमेंट ही मिला?
No, definitely there are going to be hurdles in anything what you want to do. Initial teething problems are always there. And in fact, when I was president-elect, usually the president-elect year is for the incoming president to develop his own program. But somehow people didn't understood. They could not visualize what I was visualizing. And that's why I was told that you hold on. At least let the year end, and from September you can start working. So I was, that was the first obstacle. And because I needed some financial support and the technical team to develop such a huge platform, because I am an ordinary pediatrician. Technically, I will not know much things, but then I needed some support. So there were initial problems, but then I could contact people who were already working with our IAP from the time of Dr. Sachi Kamath, who was a 2 years predecessor to me. And then they worked with Pramod Jog and Dr. Anupam Saddev for digital work. So I contacted them. They are known as the Inditech team. And because they were already there with IAP and they knew how IAP works, I contacted them and I told them that I don't have money, but will you be able to help me in developing this platform? So they said, why not? We'll definitely do. We have faith in IAP. And they started working. It's like if you have a plot of land and you want to develop a resort, but you don't have money. So you will catch hold of a developer. He will invest money and develop that resort. And ultimately the agreement will be signed where that money has to be recovered and then it is handed over to the owner. So that's how these Inditech people also did an MOU without termination clause, because if they put termination, they will lose their money, But some people didn't understand that and they thought it is my personal ownership and all those things, which is not true. Actually, it is a ownership of IAP. It is a digital arm of IAP, nothing but is a part of IAP. And if you remember, in DIAP, we had used D as a small d, meaning thereby it is part of IAP, not a main IAP. So DIAP logo contains D, which is very small. So it's a digital arm of IAP, which is owned by IAP. All copyrights are with IAP, and IAP has to nurture this DIAP because it's their own baby. And now the world is moving towards digitization. So DIAP should be nurtured to gain further. And I will put in one line. DIAP is nothing but a pedicon on cloud.
Yes.
You do pedicon, you give stalls to get some academic grants. Same way DIP also can fetch money for your day-to-day working. Why not use it, But somehow some people are not understanding what is DIP, and then they are misquoting people and putting lots of allegations. So I always believe if you do something good, of course, anybody will like to have appreciation, but if not appreciation, at least don't do depreciation. Don't give galis for something which has been done in a nice way and everybody is accepted it. But sometimes somehow some people are disgruntled and they have problems about DIP even now. But I personally am satisfied that I could do something which was helpful to IAP and which is bound to be helpful in future also if they understand well and nurture it well.
Yes, it's good to have such open discussion on this platform so that people understand what you wanted to do, how you did it, and which is the way the things are running. लोग बोलते
I would
हैं
like to also add one thing. People had doubt about finances, where the money came from. So let me tell you, the DIAP team, they created a platform. Now see, Zoom platform is now available free, but that time it was not free. So Zoom platform, then they bought Vimeo, then they bought YouTube. YouTube had a problem. If you have endocrinology talks going on and there's for genitalia or breast, the robo will block it. Because they don't understand what is it meant for, So we had bought Vimeo, we had bought Amazon platform, and all those things were piped together so that there is no break and it continues ever. Even something is stopped, the other thing gets into it. So that's how the platform was developed, and lots of money was there. You require 2 to 3 servers, and where this money come from? IP has not spent a single money. Only they have got is the money they have received rather than spending. And the agreement so that 30% will go to IAP and 70% will go to the Inditech team, because they have to spend for the team, for the platform. Even simple website maintenance costs you about 1.5 lakh. Here there were 3 servers and big platform. So money and all the programs were not given academic grant. Out of 1,000 programs, only 10 or 20 programs will get academic. Others were all free, and they were doing it without any objection. And all those money which was collected from those 20 programs were also spent for these 1,000 free programs, which people don't understand. Why 70% is going there and why we are only getting 30%, something like that. So all these things are there, but ultimately DIP is a thing which should be nurtured and is going to be a boon for IAP. And every other medical organization followed us. IAP was the first to start digital platform. Then every organization followed it, and now everything is become a norm,
But I think DIP is the leading platform. Others are not as mature as DIP.
We have 1 million.
We are pioneers.
1 million viewers till now on DIP.
Yes.
IAP is a pioneer.
Thank you.
Yes, I have also attended, I think 7 or 8 courses and got the certificate after passing that to DIP. So, means I've gone through the DIP, different the departments, the compartments of DIP, and you are helping the branches, you are helping the individuals.
We had prepared website for every state branch who wanted it. In fact, Advanced Health India first website was developed by DIP free of charge.
Yes,
We had
yes,
offered
yes,
it in Indore when I was installed as a president, when even
yeah,
COVID was not there. We had
yeah,
offered that website free of charge, but somehow people didn't take advantage of it.
yes, yes. So, since you said that IAP is the owner, uh, if say some means unforeseen the issues, when if there is some dispute, so can IAP block the DIP functioning?
I
Or
think it's a foolish attempt if they block it, because it is their digital arm. You cannot cut your arm, otherwise you'll be handicapped. It
true,
is as simple as that.
that is true, but that is means in the public it is considered your baby.
That's what I told you, no? That
Yeah,
because people have not understood what is DIP, they
yeah,
don't know any details, and without knowing what is DIP, they are commenting. So that
yes,
is very
yes,
wrong. They have never called me to explain them what
yes,
is DIP.
yes. So it's
अपने आप चल रहा है, सब अपनी कमिटी बनाते हैं, and
हाँ,
basically our association is a president dominant association, no? So
हाँ,
whatever president has a vision and whatever the president
हाँ,
decides, everybody
हाँ,
else will say yes most of the time,
हाँ,
and
हाँ,
then there is an issue. So
हाँ,
I think DIP should not be blocked. If they block, it is a IAP's loss. Ultimately, it is digital arm of IAP and
yes,
not
yes,
a private entity. It is
yes,
IAP who is the owner. And
yeah,
see agreements, and there are issues. If there are any issues, they can always talk frankly and modify the agreement accordingly. No,
yes,
there is no
yes,
harm.
yes, yes,
Everybody is acceptable and receptive.
yeah,
So if जैसा दुटेजा ने लिखा है कि फासले की दीवारें बातों से टूटती है, बरोबर ना?
बातें गिरा
दीवार
देती है फासलों की दीवार।
हाँ, बातें गिरा देते फासलों की दीवारें। तो इसमें भी
बिल्कुल,
अगर बातें हो, डिस्कशन हो, तो उसका हर एक चीज का, अगर तुम्हारे
हाँ,
मन में डाउट है तो उसका सॉल्यूशन मिलता है।
बिल्कुल,
बकुल जी
बिल्कुल,
इसीलिए
बिल्कुल,
प्रोग्राम अरेंज करा गया।
बिल्कुल। ये बहुत मुझे लगता है कि इस प्रोग्राम का बहुत अच्छा पार्ट ये रहा कि बहुत सारी चीज़ें जो लोगों के मन में शंकाएं हैं और जो लोग आपसे पूछते नहीं और आप बता नहीं सकते, वो आज आपने खुलकर बता दिया और बहुत सारी शंकाएं मन से दूर हो गई। और ईश्वर ना करे कि कभी ऐसी स्थिति आए कि आईआईपी ब्लॉक करे, लेकिन करेंगे तो शायद आईआईपी का ही नुकसान होगा। अब यह है कि चूंकि आईआईपी में
मैं तो ये
प्रेसिडेंट
हद तक बोला हूँ कि अगर आपको और कोई दूसरा डेवलपर मिलता है इंस्टेड ऑफ इंडीटेक एंड यू हैव अ बेटर ऑफर, you change it. There is no hard and fast. But I took up Intitech because that time we had no money. IIP was not spending money, and these people were ready to do it free of charge. And they were taking all legal liabilities. They were also recording, editing, and publishing. They are also preparing brochures for us. So everything was free, and no other company was ready to do all these things. So that's why I took up Intitech. But now, if you are not happy with them, you can always have a better person if you find any.
यस, तो आपका कितनी कितनी बड़ी टीम है, कितने वर्कर्स हैं जो मिलके डीआईपी को रन करते हैं?
उसमें एक गोपाल कृष्णन करके है जो सॉल्यूशन मास्टर है। आप कोई भी प्रॉब्लम लेके जाओ, मैं अगर बोलूं कि मुझे ये करना है, तो ही विल गिव मी सॉल्यूशन वेरी इजीली। देन देयर इज वन अमित गुप्ता हु इज एन एग्जीक्यूटर हु विल execute to the T perfectly in time. Then we have other hosts like Abhilasha, Sweta, and all who attend this. They give training initially if they are doing for the first time. They tell them about how to open, how to close, and how to arrange your lighting and everything. And then ultimately, after the production, there is editing. And then after editing, they are making into a final version, which is then library. It is put archived in the library. And library also, we have got all classification. We also wanted to do deep classification as per the speaker's name, as per the topic's name, as per the system name, but that requires money. And ultimately, after my finishing my presidency, other presidents were not very forthcoming to help me to do all this. So it is at a level where it is now.
हाँ, हाँ, तो उसको ग्रो करना चाहिए। जैसे
done even now.
हाँ, आपने बताया कि इसमें आप कुछ और ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस भी आपके सर्विसेज, डीआईपी के सर्विसेज ले रहे हैं और आप उन्हें प्रोवाइड कर
I
रहे
will
हैं।
not say it is DIP service, but Inditech service.
Inditech
DIP is branch. So without IP's permission, I cannot use DIP. But the same team which developed DIP is also helping me without charging a single paisa for developing my SAPA website, South Asia Pediatrics, where I'm secretary. They are also having SAPA webinars. And so many things they are helping me. No? Ultimately, they are nice people, but somehow people have misunderstood.
हाँ, हाँ, तो अच्छा है कि इससे बहुत कुछ क्लियर हो गया। एक चीज़ फाइनली मैं और पूछना चाहता था कि शुड डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म बी लिमिटेड फॉर एकेडमिक्स ओनली? आपका ऑफिस वर्क, आईआईपी का इतना सब कुछ कम्युनिकेशन।
As I told you, even during my presidency, we had 7 EB meetings. We had PDs on. So now, as we know that in physical conferences, limited people can attend because of lack of money, lack of time, lack of leaving their practice.
Yes,
Why
yes,
anybody should miss science just because
हाँ,
they cannot travel? So
yes,
we should have a hybrid conference, no, where you have a DIP
हाँ,
platform also and a
हाँ,
physical platform also. Those who can travel, they attend there, and those who cannot, they can look at DIP with a nominal charge. And DIP can so help in academics. Also, you can have many EB meetings. Now, physical EB meetings cost you a lot, around 15 to 20 lakh rupees per EB. And
yes,
here, if you do digital EB, you spend hardly 500 rupees or 1,000 rupees.
yes, yes, yes,
And you can have a thorough discussion, plus you can record it. In
yes,
physical EB meeting, you have to keep a cameraman, video man, and spend for them also. So
yes, yes,
this comes in a very huge, compact package where you don't have to spend much and you can do many things without traveling and
yes,
a comfortable time during after practice and whatever. No, so you can have administrative meetings, you can have EB meetings, you can have meetings with UNICEF, Government of India, so many things where people cannot travel. And
yes, yes,
because it has no boundary, you can have no, you can go beyond boundary to
yes, yes, yes,
UK, Saudi, where now the IAP branches have started. No,
yes,
so
yes,
many things can be achieved.
yes,
You can have communication with others. You can have
yes,
exchange of ideas. You can have exchange of technology. So it is limitless. It depends on
yes,
how a president visualizes and what is his
yes,
action plan and how best he wants to use the IAP. And
yes,
then only you can get the maximum of what you have. It is
बिल्कुल,
less possibilities in the IAP.
हाँ, बिल्कुल। और आपने एक बार जो रास्ता दिखाया, लेकिन कोविड खत्म होने के बाद दुनिया वापस फिर बाउंस बैक करके वही पुराने रास्ते, वही फिजिकल मीटिंग्स, वही ट्रैवल, वही वही डेस्टिनेशन मीटिंग्स और वही वही सब कुछ। डॉक्टर टूटेजा आगे आपसे इस विषय पर बात करेंगे। तो हमारा आईएपी भी उसी रास्ते वापस आ गया, जानते हुए भी। और मुझे लगता है कि आपने बहुत बड़ी चीज़ सिखाई थी, राह दिखाई थी। चलने की ज़रूरत है उस पर, और देर सवेर शायद शायद लोगों को वो चीज़ वापस से याद आए।
हाँ,
इसी
नहीं,
तरह से
इसमें मैं एक चीज कहना चाहूंगा
जी,
कि फिजिकल मीटिंग्स एंड डिजिटल, दे आर बोथ टू साइड्स ऑफ द कॉइन, सेम कॉइन. So ideally, a human being is a social animal. So they will like to meet people physically. But so you can balance both. No,
yes,
some physical meetings, some digital meetings to save money
yes,
and time, and to
yes,
reach many difficult terrain. You cannot travel to interior of your country. So there also you should touch your members. So
yes,
post graduate teaching, you can have university on cloud where best of
हाँ,
the speakers, teachers can teach the students from common platform without spending lots
हाँ,
of
हाँ,
money.
हाँ,
So all these things can be done. So
हाँ,
physical and digital should go hand in hand, and ultimately
yes,
it should be a hybrid conference, hybrid approach.
yes, yes। क्योंकि ऐसा ही हमारी रीजनल या नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंसेस के लिए, कि अब नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस की लिमिटेशन है कि वो सिर्फ मेट्रो में ही हो सकता है,
और बहुत
लेकिन
अभी आजकल रजिस्ट्रेशन फी भी कितनी बढ़ गई है, सब लोग अफोर्ड नहीं
हाँ,
कर पाते हैं,
नहीं कर सकते। और
टाइम भी
कॉन्फ्रेंस,
नहीं निकाल पाते हैं।
फिजिकल कॉन्फ्रेंस की हालत देख के लगता है कि इतना बड़ा हॉल होता है 1,000 की कैपेसिटी का, उसमें 20 लोग बैठे होते हैं, 20 में भी
और
10 लोग सोए होते हैं।
हाँ, और डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म में आपको कई लोग बोलते हैं कि ज्वाइन करके चले जाते हैं, पैसा नहीं है।
हाँ, हाँ,
During COVID time, तो 10,000 people used to attend every webinar.
यस,
But
यस, यस,
if you compare now also, in
हम्म,
digital platform, you may have 500 people or 300 people, and out of
यस,
let's say 100 people were sleeping, but at least 200
हाँ,
or 300 learning,
हाँ,
and
हाँ,
that is recorded. That can be
हाँ,
seen later on after your practice hours
यस,
also. So after
दैट
that,
इज द
you can
एडवांटेज,
use this. While in
दैट इज द
physical
एडवांटेज।
meetings, hardly 20 out of it, 10 is sleeping, 2 are talking, and
हाँ,
next faculty is sitting there or organizer sitting there,
हाँ,
nobody is
हाँ, हाँ।
interested, and भागा भागी मारा मारी टाइम का. So I think it's a big loss.
तो उसमें इतना 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 पैसा, इतनी व्यवस्था, इतनी तैयारियां करके उसका एंड रिजल्ट गेन कुछ
बहुत ही
नहीं
कम
होता,
है, बहुत ही कम
बहुत
है.
कम है। वो डीआईपी प्लेटफॉर्म के ऊपर बहुत
मिल
अच्छे तरीके से हो सकता है।
या
और डीआईपी में जो जो डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म पे ज्वाइन करेगा कॉन्फ्रेंस को, उसे सुनना है तभी करेगा, सोना है तो बंद कर देगा ना।
हाँ, और
वो बैठेगा ही क्यों?
बाद में भी सुन सकते हैं, बिकॉज
बाद में
इज
सुन सकते हैं,
हाँ,
बाद में सुन सकते हैं, तो उसका
टिकट
तो
में क्या
कोई।
होता है, 8 हॉल रहते हैं. अभी
हाँ,
आपको 4 हॉल में अच्छे लेक्चर एट सेम टाइम चल रहे हैं, आपको चारों अटेंड करना, आप नहीं कर पाते हो.
नहीं कर
डिजिटल
सकते।
प्लेटफॉर्म में क्या होता है, एक फिजिकल अटेंड किया, बाकी का तुम बाद में सुन लो.
हाँ, तो मुझे लगता है कि फ्यूचर तो डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म ही है, डिजिटल कॉन्फ्रेंस ही है।
यस,
आज नहीं तो कल, हम जब एक्सेप्ट करें तब।
यस.
तो थैंक यू वेरी मच सर। डीआईएपी आपका ड्रीम प्रोजेक्ट था, और हमारे हमारे सपने जो जो पूरे नहीं थे, जो सही नहीं थे, आज आपने सब कुछ स्पष्ट कर दिया। हमारे लिए भी अच्छा है, और शायद आप भी बेहतर महसूस कर रहे होंगे कि सारी बात बहुत लोगों तक पहुंचेगी।
पहली बार मैंने कुछ लोगों को समझाने की कोशिश किया। ये सब चीजें मैं पहली बार बोल रहा हूँ, तो
जी
इसने मुझे पूछा ही नहीं और पीछे बैठ के गाली दे रहे हैं।
हाँ हाँ हाँ, इसीलिए इसीलिए तो
हाँ,
अब मैं रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा डॉक्टर टुटेजा से सेकंड पार्ट ऑफ इंटरव्यू के लिए। डॉक्टर टुटेजा सर।
सर मैं आपको वापस वेलकम करता हूँ।
थैंक यू।
मेरे छोटे से सवाल हैं और छोटे से जवाब चाहिए मुझे।
ओके।
हाउ हैज IIP has changed over the years? What better we want to happen in our IIP?
It's a very good question. See, since the time I know IAP, initially all of you must have known that it's a very small group which started as IAP. And around when I joined as a EB member for the first time, there were only 10,000 members. And hardly voting used to happen physically. And about 1,200 votes were put. And if you have more than 400 or 500 votes, you are a winner. So it was situation like that. And now we have nearly 50,000 members. Volume has increased. Now digital elections have started, e-voting has started, and more than 23,000 people vote. So it's a big democratic process which is going on. And because the members have increased, the ambitions have increased, competition has increased, and election is fought very fiercely. But I believe that in academic body, we should always give importance to merit. But unfortunately, in our society, many other associations, the things of politics has entered. So initially, it was always 80% academics and 20% politics. Politics is always going to be there wherever there is human being. But the percentage was very low initially, but now it is the highest. 80% politics and 20% academics. And merit is given hardly any scope. Now, regionalism has increased, casteism has increased, zonal situations have increased, favoritism has increased. So many KOLs have increased who take them as gurus, make others winners. So many things are going on which I feel should not happen in academic.
Regionalism and religion is also
Yeah.
coming.
So
Has come up.
maybe merit should be given the preference and not the caste or regionalism or zonism. No, that is
Yes.
the main thing.
Why IIP is not doing charity work for children and adolescents registered as a charitable organization? I suppose there is no problem of funds now.
Yeah, so funds are enough, but charity work is being done. But I feel that even much more can be done in terms of charity. When I was president, is the ultimately depends on the president who is at the helm, what he wants or she wants. No, and during my presidency, I had started a program called as Chariot, where we used to help branches and motivate branches to do charity work in their zone during COVID time, reaching food to the poor people, street children treatment, giving clothes and other things. And we always told them, you arrange 50% of the money and 50% IAP will give. And I had passed 1 crore rupees of budget during my presidency of the year, and which was utilized by many branches during that time. So ultimately, IAP branch also is a NGO, and they also have to do charity work. So 50% if they put efforts and 50% central IAP does, then lots of things can be achieved. So during my year, it was done. Later on, then during Dr. P.S. Gupta's time, we approached, and even during my time, Dr. Dabadkar, we had a parents meeting. Then Dr. Tuteja remembers very well that during adolescent time, we approached adolescents and schools to increase their health. So ultimately, it's a type of social work.
AYA program.
Yeah, then we have a school
AYA
health
program.
program. Yeah, so many things have done, but many more things can be done. I agree, much more than what we are doing now, because if we have to continue as a charity organization, we have to prove ourselves. Otherwise, we will be taxed. In fact,
Yes.
we were to pay around 9.5 crore rupees because we had not done many charity work as per the income tax officers. But then Dr. Samir Dalwai, when he was treasurer, through his good books, he fought and he proved that whatever charity work was done by branches and others, it was shown as a central IP charity work, and somehow we saved that 9.5 crore rupees. Otherwise, we would have been at a loss. But
I know about that.
again in future,
I know about that incident.
so we should
I'm
do.
well aware about it.
या नाउ इवन आईआईपी कम्युनिटी के साथ भी अभी चल रही है, कम्युनिटी की बात आईआईपी के साथ चल रही है, गांव की बात आईआईपी के साथ हुआ था सच्ची कामत के टाइम. So many things were
But it is
now
but
it
it
was
is
not,
rather a slogan.
yeah, it was
It is
not,
rather a slogan,
yeah, slogan,
but not the work.
implementation was not done the way which was wanted. No?
Yes. Sir, AHA is working from last 25 years. Now IIP is restricting chapter to work through city branches. Probably there is some apprehension towards the chapters in OBs and EBM. OB 23 changed the city branches to state branches. Why? Why? Why do you feel? What do you feel about it personally? Because when you want to go to the schools, you want to go to the society, the city branches are the best to contact rather than the state branches. Then why there is an appreciation, and in 23 EB has changed the whole constitution about it.
So I really don't know much details about it, because after that, my year for more 1 year, I was very active when Dr. Piyush Gupta was there. But after that, now my post was over and nobody has contacted me ever for my advice. So I really don't know how it has been decided. But if you ask my personal opinion, things were discussed during my time also, that so many conferences are mushrooming, no, of various subspecialty as well as pediatrics at national level, state level, city level, even district level. So many conferences, so delegates used to get divided. The speakers were not available very easily. The academic grants were not very easily available. So people were thinking of cutting short the conferences. So if we talk of conferences, I agree that okay, you do at state level with the support of city branch, like national conference occurs also with city branch support, and you can share. But local activities, community work, social work can be allowed at a city level, and that should be allowed so that you can have more penetration. That's what I feel.
I know that the more conferences are during the once the election is over and the next election has started. So there are more of the conferences. Now you see in your WhatsApp university group, daily from 6 o'clock morning, there is posting started about this webinar, that webinar, this day and that day. You know, there are a lot of days have come up. We our days were the morning and evening. Now there are so many days, So why we are not invited in most of community program of Government of India? Are we not in contact with the Government of India?
No, in
As
fact,
we are registered with a body, but most of the programs are overlooked
no,
from the
basically,
IIP.
yeah, now government has started calling us. Actually, we have been called very frequently by UNICEF. Even UNICEF has joined hands with IIP recently for many activities. Then we have been also called by Government of India in many of the policy making. We are also called in NTAGI for vaccine policies. So things are going on. And ultimately, our aim should be that any problem with a child or any solution, if required for any child, IIP should be contacted. But to
Yes.
our surprise, many of the common public don't know what is IAP, what is Indian Academy of Pediatrics, what they are doing. They may know about IMA, but not about IAP. So IAP has to have more footprints in government, in social media, in news, and develop confidence in among the common public. In fact, during my presidency, I had envisaged one plan where we can have vaccine master, immunization master, or antibiotic master, or maybe a branch which has become a smart branch or smart clinic, and give them a big certificate which is framed very well with a stamp of IAP, and that should be also published in newspapers and others, and approach to schools and other things, so that parents also come to know what is IAP doing. But somehow there we are lacking. And ultimately, all these programs is based on who is the leader and what he plans in his action plan for the year. Many times good programs start, but even before they reach the pinnacle, they are faded in the next year when the new president comes. And then the same thing comes, the old wine in new bottle. And again, you spend money, again, you have committees. So why not we save money, continue with the good program for many more years, and take advantage of what we have spent in terms of time and money. That is what
That's why we need the IIP action plan rather than the president action plan.
yeah,
And
that
then
is
we
what is
need,
called as IAP action plan, but
yes,
sometimes it is called as president
so
action.
many times I have written in Adolescent India
Yeah,
to change from president action plan to IIP action plan, which should be run for 5 years.
yeah,
And then we need a person, a leader in IIP who is vocal. He knows ins and outs of IIP. Rather, he is working for IIP rather than for self-appraisal.
yeah. So
That
basically,
is
Yes, sir.
you should have
required.
a feedback process of every program. So if you get more than 80% feedback positive, then that program should continue for other time.
Yes,
और जैसे
How
गवर्नमेंट
IIP
ने
is benefited? How
नीति
IIP
आयोग
is benefit? How IIP is benefited by overseas visit by using IIP funds by supremacist hobbies?
So basically, overseas visits should be continued in a way where can we IAP can have a footprints globally. No, if you don't take part, nobody will know what IAP is doing and what IAP is about. But of course, when you go for that conference, you should go with a aim and with a purpose. If you go with the aim and the purpose, you will achieve. But if you don't have purpose and you just want to move around with your spouse, then you are wasting money. So
Yes, most of the hobbies are going with the spouse and then going around in the country and putting their photographs with the family in the social media.
no, I don't
I've
think
noticed.
everybody is doing that. Maybe few must be doing, but many of them they spend for their spouse for the tickets and accommodation. That's what I believe. And they
That is
move
the right
around
thing.
after completing their job in the conference. Maybe a couple of days they move around. There is nothing wrong in that. But
No,
ultimately, it should not be IAP's money. It should be personal money
but it
for
should
the
not be
spouse.
IIP money. That's
It should
what.
be,
Uh,
but as far as I know, they spend for their spouse. The IAP doesn't spend for this.
if they are doing that is right.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if they are using the IIP money, that is
Yeah.
wrong. That is the notion among the common
Yeah, maybe
members.
that is a notion among everybody, but as far as my personal knowledge was, it is not like that. Many of
Hmm.
them they spend for their spouse personally rather than taking IAP's money. Only thing is because they are in the same room, maybe the room charges are benefited, but otherwise, ticketing and everything is done by from personal funds rather than IAP's funds.
That's good thing
Yeah,
if they are doing it.
yeah.
Do you also think that it is too early of aspirant to start conversing in academic organization when everybody knows them and why they are benefited as a faculty when self-declaration as aspirant?
Yeah, it is very difficult to comment here, but of course, politics, no, it is like they say, no, in love and war, there is no limit, no, everything is fine. So in
But
love and war.
the
But here
organization
it is,
can
should not be taken as war, it should be taken as a sporting competition amongst the friends.
no,
And
that is all right. But why the IP should make them the faculty when they have already declared?
so it depends upon the SOPs which has been established by the existing EB and AGM and the president. There we
So
can.
so you agree with that there should be change in it?
Ideally, there are divided opinions. Means aspirant will always want to project himself so that he gets more. But
डेफिनेटली जिसकी जेब में पैसा आएगा वो तो मना थोड़ी ना करेगा.
so ultimately, everybody wants to get votes as much as possible by
नहीं,
putting their flyers and everything. But I
by
agree
it
that
should be
many
by
people
their efficiency.
get angry and they get disturbed by so frequent flyers from everybody. Ultimately, there should be an SOP by IAP that during elections, following things should be done. When that SOP comes, then I think people will follow. But at present, SOP book has been published now. I was also one of them as a co-chairman, but I don't think it has been implemented so very meticulously.
But I have heard that it is very difficult SOP.
Because there are so many
The,
micro instructions which may not be followed very easily. Yeah.
yes, it is definitely.
Hmm.
हाँ, तो
IP conferences. Do you think that the physical and digital will go hand in hand?
As I told you, they are both two sides of the same coin. Both should go hand in hand, and ultimately it should be a hybrid conference because nobody should miss science because they cannot travel for whatever reason, lack of time, lack of money, lack of leave. So if they have both, then maximum people can take advantage of the good talks, and physical and digital should go hand in hand.
So my next question is about Pedican. Do you think that IIP fund should be looked after by the non-political academician, senior academician of the country of IIP?
See, Pedicon is organized by a particular branch under the guidance of Central IIP. So ultimately, Central IIP also appoints a committee to look after Pedicon. They also have a finance committee. They also have a treasurer, and Pedicon committee is supposed to give their accounts every 3 monthly to assess that what has been received and what has been spent and how it has been spent. And we have also an internal auditor in Central IIP office who can look into this auditing part. Some places it has been done, some places it might not have been done. But I can vouch for my conference, which I have organized in Mumbai IIP and other places where we have given accounts before even financial year was over, and we had also given 3 monthly and 6 monthly audited accounts. But some of them maybe may not be doing. But ultimately, of course, we have to have a watchguard from Central IIP by appointed committee. Now that a committee will be, of course, decided by president and the executive board because they are supreme. And if they decide something is better, then they can change. But nobody else can comment on that, no.
बकुल जी, आपकी गोवा की जो एक ईबी मीटिंग हुई थी, उसमें मैंने एजेंडा भेजा था इसी के बाबत, और वो पास भी हो गया था, पर वो इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं हुआ.
You know that I agree to that, and we had discussed it thoroughly, and it was decided to implement. But as soon as my presidency was over, because of COVID, I could not do anything physically. The incoming president, it was their rights to follow it or not to follow it. So I don't know why, but ultimately it should have been implemented. Yeah.
There is one discussion going on that all the government servant pediatrician in our IP, they cannot contest without the permission of the government. They should have to take the no objection certificate from the government. Any IP member who is a government servant cannot be trustee in the Pedicon funds. A person who is government servant working in AIMS has to take the certificate from the government. I think that should also come in our constitution. Do you agree?
So basically, government rules are government rules, so people have to follow government rules.
But it should be in the constitution and by the election commission.
By the government, then maybe it should be applied in our constitution also. I think new SOPs doesn't have this type of SOP at present, I suppose. Yeah.
But that should be in the SOP. Should have
If
been
the
added
rule
now.
is there, then that rule has to be followed. If there is a rule for government.
That discussion is going on in adults in India about it. And Dr. Agarwal from Chhattisgarh has written a letter to IIP also, but unfortunately, there is a so silent period going on in IIP that you don't get the answers about so many queries. Even I have written a letter to IIP. It is about 15-20 days. I'm still in waiting list.
You may send a reminder again. Might have been missed because of the busy schedule, maybe.
No. But I have given to all the president, secretary, and IP email also. But I always take care that my email should not be missed.
So what I believe is that whenever you send an email, why don't we give a proactive call to them that Baba, I have sent an email, kindly have a look and answer, no? Something like that.
सरकारी काम हो गया है तो फिर.
Because some people give answers very fast, some people take lots of time. It depends on a person, no? The person's personality.
वो शैलेश गुप्ता वाला जमाना चला गया. What are the benefits of OBs like president-elect, HSG, treasurer?
So basically, benefits in terms of achievement. If you have some plan in your mind when you take up certain post, I believe that you should take up a post where you can justify it. If you don't have time and you cannot give justice, you should not take up the post. So once you have taken up the post, you should give full justice to that post. And if you do that, it will give you lots of personal satisfaction after the end of the meeting. But otherwise, people always know who is who. And एक बार आप ऑफिस बेरर में काम नहीं किया और आप न्यूमेरिकल बन गए तो बाद में कोई आपको पूछता नहीं, कुत्ता भी नहीं पूछता है.
वो तो न्यूमेरिकल प्रेसिडेंट you know about historical, which I always talk about.
आपका ही क्लासिफिकेशन है इसलिए मैं बोला.
मेरी क्लासिफिकेशन. So what are the these are the personal benefit and creating an image in IP as an office bearer. Is there any monetary benefits also?
Monetary benefit, I don't think so, because only monetary benefit you can take it as like when you are on the post, you are invited by various branches where they spend for your stay, travel, and accommodation and food. That may be an indirect benefit in that term. If you go to that particular function and maybe 1 or 2 days you can move around and see the place, so you can save your money on ticketing part. But otherwise, not much of monetary gain.
But the foreign benefit of president is 2.5 lakhs, as I have come to know.
So during my time, it was
But going one time in USA, it cost 1.62 lakhs.
So I can tell you about my year because I don't know about this present thing. But during my year, the amount was 1.5 lakh rupees for domestic travel all together in the year, and maybe 3 lakhs for the international travel. But
But
beyond that,
now it
there
is
was nothing.
total about 2.5 lakhs.
Huh?
I have come to know that it is 2.5
Yeah,
lakh. The
2.5 or 3
total
lakhs. Yeah. So
for the year, it may be national or international.
So I don't know how they can spend more, or maybe they've changed the policy, or maybe they've got it passed in the EB, or I really don't know how
तो
they.
ऐसा तो नहीं कि वहां बुला रहा है जो वो खर्चा करेगा और जब ये बुलाएंगे ये खर्चा करेंगे.
लोग बोलते हैं कि आप उसकी पीठ खुजाओ, वो आपकी पीठ खुजाएगा, बट
हाँ
how true it is, I don't know really.
हाँ
वैसे
बट
आईएपी आपके समय से ज्यादा अमीर भी तो हो गई है ना, तो खर्चा कर सकते हैं.
हाँ, पैसा तो हर साल बढ़ते जा रहा है, और जो भी फिक्स डिपॉजिट उसका इंटरेस्ट पे तो ऑफिस चलती है ना,
ठीक है.
उसका पेमेंट वगैरह सब उसी में से चलता है.
हाँ हाँ.
मेरा आखिरी सवाल है आपसे कि आपकी प्रेसिडेंटशिप में इंदौर में एक प्रोसेशन निकला था आपका और भाभी जी का,
हम्म.
जिसको मैंने नाम दिया था बैंड बाजा और बारात.
हम्म.
क्या एकेडमिक बॉडी में ये जायज है?
मेरे ख्याल से इसकी इतनी ग्रैंडियोसिटी की जरूरत नहीं है, बट मे बी द ब्रांच, लाइक व्हेन वी गेट सम वीआईपी इन आवर होम, we always are honored, and we also appreciate their presence by doing something or other which will make them happy. So same way, maybe the branch is honoring the president, the elected president, for the achievement, and they are doing what best they can do to make it little more grandiose. But at the same time, I agree that lots of money should not be spent. It can be given in a very different way also, but ultimately it
Yes,
depends upon the host branch how much they want to do and how much they want to spend. No?
but I have come to know that the IIP common members are totally against this type of show in academic organization, because they have come there to learn something rather than to see such things, क्योंकि सब शादीशुदा
It
लोग हैं.
happens every year. कोई घोड़े पे बैठ के आता है, कोई बारात में निकलता है, कोई छप्पड़ फाड़ के आता है, कोई हेलीकॉप्टर से नीचे उतरता है, तो
कोई बग्गी में बैठ रहा है, कोई बग्गी में.
नकला पर्दा फाड़ के ऐसा भी होता है. तो बेसिकली ये सब चीजें जो है वो लोकल होस्ट ब्रांच की है, लेकिन एज यू राइटली सेड कि शुड नॉट बी डन एंड इट शुड बी पास्ड एज एन एसओपी एंड discussed in AGM, and if it is passed in AGM, then nobody will do it. So
Yes,
ultimately,
definitely.
they have to come.
तो somewhere तो कहीं तो कोई ब्लॉक करना ही पड़ेगा उसको.
हाँ, एजीएम में डिस्कस करके उसको ला सकते हैं बाहर.
और
हाँ.
दूसरा चीज, उसको अगर हम बैंड बाजा और बारात की जगह यादों की बारात बोल दें तो
हाँ, जो
शायद अच्छा लगेगा.
लेटली अभी जो इंटरव्यूज होते हैं प्रेसिडेंट के, उसकी लाइफ स्टोरी के बारे में, उसके बारे में पूछा जाता है क्या क्या. दैट इज आल्सो इनोवेटिव आइडिया ऑफ अप्रिशिएटिंग द प्रेसिडेंट, एंड इट्स अ गुड आइडिया व्हेन यू डोंट हैव टू स्पेंड मच. आई लाइक्ड इट, व्हिच आई लाइक्ड इट. अनफॉर्चुनेटली ड्यूरिंग माय टाइम इट वाज नॉट सो.
Over to बंगा जी to sum up, और उसके बाद में
सर,
कुछ एक
छोटे
लाइन
से
बोलना चाहूंगा बकुल जी के बारे में बाद.
छोटे से सवाल आपके इतने एक्सटेंसिव इंटरव्यू के बाद कि आप इतना काम करते हैं, इतना बिजी रहते हैं, आईआईपी का भी, डीआईएपी का भी, अपना प्रैक्टिस का भी, घर फैमिली सब देखना, आपका एक टिपिकल डे कैसा होता है? आप कैसे ये सब कुछ टाइम मैनेजमेंट कैसे करते हैं?
मैं एक सेंटेंस में बिलीव करता हूँ जो डॉक्टर आम्बेडकर हमेशा कहते हैं, ये busy person always has time.
यस.
Busy person has always the time because he is very organized.
या.
Well, lazy person will have to think lot to kill time. While busy person has to be very meticulous in arranging the time period. So that is one that is helping me. And during my presidency, I had taken a sabbatical. My son was managing my hospital. I was not attending my practice, and I gave my full time to IAP. As I told you, if I take up any post, I have to justify. Otherwise, there is no point. And of course, after that, COVID started, and I could not go for my practice also, even if I wanted to. And I had lots of time, because of which I could do DAP and other webinars. In general, even Dr. Piyush Gupta, he took a sabbatical from his appointment, and he spent full time for the presidency. So like that, if you take up some post, you should give time. But now, at present, I have started my practice again. And I am also busy in SAPA. I am also busy in IPA. and I at times also go for IAP conferences also and meetings also whenever I'm being called. So what I do in the morning, I take 7 hours sleep definitely, and when I get up, I go for swimming and exercise in the morning for about an hour, and then I go from there to my practice. Then come back in the afternoon, play with my grandson, and take lunch and take some nap, half an hour power nap, and then go for billiards, which makes my mind very free and easy and concentrating rather than getting Alzheimer's very early. So I keep myself busy, my mind also busy. And then from there again, I go for my consulting. And then I come back by 8:30, and after dinner, I go for all these webinars, meetings. I also do postgraduate teaching for my students. And my every week I take around 3 talks for my postgraduate students. So that keeps me academically also active. And by attending SAPA webinars, IPA and other things, I get to know many people, how they work, how they utilize their time, how they utilize the technology. And ultimately, it's give and take. It helps you in doing many things in a very short time. So I can do multitasking very easily.
तो इसीलिए शायद बोलते हैं कि if you want to get your work done fast, give it to the busiest person.
Because he has always the time.
So they always have the time.
Yes.
तो आप इतने बड़े बड़े लोगों का ढोल बजा देते हैं और फिर आप तबला भी बजाते हैं, तो आपको तबला बजाने का वक्त कब मिलता है?
तबला अनफॉर्चुनेटली अभी मैं लास्ट फ्यू ईयर्स से नहीं बजा पा रहा हूँ, बिकॉज आई एम हैविंग एंकिलोजिंग स्पॉन्डिलाइटिस and I got my left knee surgery also done. So I cannot sit on the ground, and tabla playing sitting on a chair is not very comfortable and not very satisfactory, no, because you cannot have that वजन नहीं आता है ना उसमें. तो अभी तो नहीं बजा पा रहा हूँ, लेकिन तभी जब भी मैं था एक्टिव, I used to do riyaz for about 1 hour every day, and I used to go for sat sangat to various places in Ghatkopar. I given stage performance by doing a solo in Trital, Japtal, Ektal, and so many things. So those are all sweet memories, but at present I cannot play tabla.
तो भी वो स्किल तो हमेशा आपके साथ रहेगी, तो जब संभव होगा तो आप बजाएंगे. तब तक लोगों का ढोलक ढोल फिर आपका क्रिकेट, बैडमिंटन, टीटी और चेस, क्या वो भी ऐसे ही
चलता है?
चलता
मैं
है?
खेलता हूँ, चेस की टूर्नामेंट में भी पार्ट लेता हूँ, एंड टेबल टेनिस भी मैं खेलता हूँ, बट दैट इज फॉर फन, नॉट इन टूर्नामेंट्स. बट नाउ माय मेन कंसर्न इज ऑन चेस एंड बिलियर्ड्स. So these are my 2 favorite sports at present.
हाँ,
I
और
continue every day.
स्विमिंग.
Swimming, so of course, my need for my ankylosing spondylitis. That was at the age of 59 years, I started going for the first time to swimming pool because it was my need, not lazy.
एक चीज जो हम बस इंटरव्यू के अंत में आ रहे हैं, व्हाट डू यू थिंक बकुल पारिक इज? आप अपने आप को कैसे इवेल्युएट करते हैं?
I look at me as a very simple person. I think simple, act simple, and do simple, and that's why I don't get any complications in my life. That is one. Secondly, I always believe in friendship. You are richer by number of, and I join any association to develop more friends rather than enemies. But unfortunately, when you go on top, you start developing enemies against you because of various reasons, which I repent. But otherwise, I always want friends. And एक लाइन में बोलूं तो मेरे बारे में लोग ऐसा बोले कि बकुल मेरा भाई, तेरा भाई, सबका भाई. नो, that is what I like to have.
और इसी को टेक्निकल टर्म्स में नेटवर्किंग बोलते हैं. How do you want Bakul Parikh to be remembered, say 50 years or 100 years later?
Bakul Parikh should be remembered as a very hard-working, simple family man who did his duties and give justice to whatever he took up in his life, and he achieved what was required for the period, and he has left some legacy for people to remember.
Great, great. मैं अंत में यही कहूँगा कि शुरू में जो मैं बोल रहा था कि क्या आप चमत्कार में विश्वास रखते हैं, मुझे लगता है कि चमत्कार कुछ नहीं होता. जो कुछ होता है आदमी के करने से होता है, उसके कर्म से, उसकी मेहनत से, लगन से, उसकी परसिवरेंस से, उसके संघर्ष से, उसके त्याग से और उसके डेडिकेशन से, एक लक्ष्य के प्रति. मैं ये सारा इंटरव्यू का पर्पस और सारी चर्चा का पर्पस अपने लोगों को बताना कि हमारा जो संगठन है इंडियन एकेडमी ऑफ पीडियाट्रिक्स, वो कैसे ग्रो करके इस लेवल तक पहुंचा है, उसमें कितने लोगों का मेहनत, पसीना, त्याग, मेहनत सब कुछ लगा है। और वो कुछ लीजेंड्स को हम एक एक करके डॉक्टर टुटेजा टॉक शो की ओर से सबके सामने लाना चाहते हैं। कई भ्रांतियां दूर करना चाहते हैं, कई चीज़ें क्लैरिफाई करना चाहते हैं, और विशेषकर यंगर जनरेशन को, क्योंकि बहुत लोग जो आपके समकालीन हैं वो तो आपको जानते ही हैं, समझते हैं, लेकिन जो यंग लोग हैं, यंग पीडियाट्रिशियन, वो आईएपी से मुझे लगता है उनको अभी बहुत ज़्यादा लगाव भी नहीं हुआ है, और वो इस जनरेशन को, आपकी और हमारी जनरेशन से थोड़ा गैप हो गया है, वो नहीं जानते हैं ना आईएपी को, ना आपकी मेहनत को, ना हमारे लोगों को। तो मैं चाहता हूँ कि वो ये सब देखें, सुनें, और उन्हें अच्छा लगे तो सीखें कि कैसे इतने बड़े काम किए जाते हैं, कैसे इतना बड़ा संगठन बनाया जाता है, कैसे चलाया जाता है, कैसे जीवन में मौका मिले तो डीआईएपी जैसा एक बहुत बड़ा इंस्टीट्यूशन क्रिएट किया जाता है जो हमेशा चलेगा। तो हमारी आशा भी है और शुभकामनाएं भी है कि डीआईएपी और बड़ा और अच्छा और इफेक्टिव बने, और डॉक्टर बकुल पारिक को हमेशा आईएपी के लिए और डीआईएपी के लिए, दोनों के लिए हमेशा हमेशा जाना जाए। बहुत बहुत
Thank you very
धन्यवाद,
much. Yeah.
बहुत बहुत
हाँ,
धन्यवाद।
Thank you.
बकुल जी, आप 2020 में प्रेसिडेंट थे, 5 साल हो गए। 5 साल में बहुत कुछ बदल गया। बहुत कुछ जो होना था वो हो नहीं पाया। जो होना चाहिए था वो हो नहीं पाया। तो एक शेर है इकबाल जी का, मैं कहना चाहूंगा आईपी के लिए और आपके जाने के बाद, जिसकी आज हमें सख्त जरूरत है, आईपी को उस लेवल पे रिवाइव करने की। और उसके लिए हमें बहुत कठिन समय चल रहा है। हमको एक वक्ता ऐसा चाहिए कि जो आईपी को दिलो जान से चाहता हो, वोकल हो, सेल्फ अप्राइजल नहीं हो, आईपी अप्राइजल हो। तो एक शेर है, हजारों साल नरगिस अपनी बेनूरी पे रोती है। हजारों साल नरगिस अपनी बेनूरी पे रोती है। आईपी तो 4 साल से रो रही है। बड़ी मुश्किल से होता है चमन में दीदावर पैदा। इन शब्दों के साथ अगर आईपी मेंबर्स आने वाले कल में समझेंगे तो सही निर्णय लेंगे, और आईपी का और आईपीएस का खूब भला होगा। धन्यवाद। आपके आने का बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया, अभिनंदन। और उम्मीद है कि ऐसे ही हम मिलते रहेंगे
Thank you.
और लोगों की शंकाओं को मिटाते रहेंगे आईपी के बारे में और हमारे अच्छे इतिहासकारों, लीडर्स के बारे में। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Thank you. Thank you very
थैंक यू,
much.
थैंक यू।
Thank you. Thanks for the invitation. Yeah.